I have been with Ramana Maharshi for a number of years and following the self-inquiry, and I've really appreciated the pathless path that you have introduced to me through the retreats as well as the YouTubes that I continue to watch. And this morning in the meditation, I can see where it was something that I'd never heard of before, the Ajata Vada. There's no creation, no world, not even an appearance of the world. And I've heard Ramana Maharshi say, we were never born and we will never die. And he's inferred that place. Um, and my question is, in the pathless path, in the abiding, there's a recognition that there's nothing here. Yes, there still appears to be a world and a body and emotions and relationship. But in that abiding, there appears to be just open space. Is that what you were meaning by Ajatavada?
No, that's something a little different. Ajatavada is an attempt to describe what reality is like from the point of view of that which is real, namely infinite consciousness. In other words, what infinite consciousness's experience of itself is. That's Ajatavada. It is itself, but it can't separate itself from itself and know itself in subject-object relationship. So it knows itself by being itself. And prior to its apparent localization of itself as a finite mind, it cannot know any creation or any objective manifestation. So it knows nothing. Now, from the point of view of the finite mind, we see a multiplicity and diversity of objects. So going back to infinite consciousness, we say that consciousness is the reality of all this multiplicity and diversity, but it does not know it. It is it, but it does not know it. Because we cannot be something and know it at the same time. You cannot have your cake and eat it.
Uh-huh.
If you are that thing, you don't know that thing. And if you know that thing, you stand apart from it.
Mm.
So infinite consciousness is the universe. The finite mind knows the universe.
So is the only way that can be experienced is with a conscious death?
No, you can know it every time you ask yourself a question such as, who am I really? Prior to all my thoughts, images, feelings, sensations, and perceptions, and you trace your way back through all the layers of your experience until you arrive at your experience of yourself prior to experience.
Right.
And in that experience, in that recognition of yourself, that awareness of your own being, that awareness of being, there is no thought, there is no perception, there is no time, there is no space. That is infinite consciousness's knowledge of itself. So I'm not talking about an experience that some remote infinite consciousness knows. I'm talking about the experience that shines at the very center or heart of yourself. Your knowledge of yourself is infinite consciousness's knowledge of itself prior to experience. As soon as infinite consciousness becomes mixed with experience, then it becomes a finite mind. But if you go all the way back, you come to this little empty void inside yourself, or it seems to be inside yourself, this aware, empty space in yourself, which is in fact infinite. doesn't mean it doesn't mean extended in all directions. It means of no dimension at all. It's what you experience when you fall deeply asleep at night.
Yeah.
So I'm talking both about what infinite consciousness's experience of itself is, but also I'm talking about the very heart of ourself, the very center of ourself. So I'm not speculating philosophically about some disembodied infinite consciousness. I'm talking about the experience that shines at the very heart of us as
Very much.
the
Yeah.
knowledge I am. And that's what Ramana Maharshi was talking about.
Yes. Yes. And he spoke of that as a heart pull, like it just draws us in to itself when we touch in on it. So this is
Yes.
what you're speaking of.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I have so enjoyed being with you and being with the
What
community.
Master Eckhart referred to when he said there is a vast silence inside each one of us that beckons us into itself. That's self-inquiry in mystical Christianity. Exactly the same thing that Ramana Maharshi was talking about.
Mm.
I'm sorry.